His gaze narrowed. "Do not mistake my interest in you for compassion, Ruby. I have never been a thoughtful or compassionate man." "What do you want from me?" she asked. "I have no coin, no wealth, nothing that would satisfy your greed." "Is that so?" he whispered, reaching up to brush his fingertips across her jaw and down her neck. She was softer than he had imagined, and his cock hardened at the solitary touch. "I think you underestimate your own value, my lady." His hand stilled instantly at the cold press of a blade against his inner thigh. "One more move, bastard, and I'll send an entire kingdom of whores into mourning." Ruby's threat hung between them. Crispin watched her closely. He could see the lust in her gaze, but she was fighting it and winning. He dropped his hands to his sides. "I yield," he said. Even though he no longer touched her, he was close enough to feel the heat radiating from her. He bit his lower lip in agitation. Her gaze fluttered to his mouth, and he saw her silent gasp, the hitch in her breathing. He grinned and took a step back. "Please, join me. You're welcome to use the bath if you're so inclined." Ruby shook her head. She approached the table where his dinner sat. "May I?" she asked, glancing at him. Crispin nodded. His appetite had shifted. He watched her take large, ravenous bites. He glanced down at his erection. It was obvious he would have to woo her into his good graces. He shuddered to think what she would do to him should his identity be revealed. But even if they did indulge in some bed sport, he would be long gone before she realized he was the prince. He snatched his trousers off the bed and pulled them on. She ate silently, occasionally sneaking a peek at him. "Enjoying your meal?" he asked, lying down on the bed. "Aye," Ruby said, around a mouthful of food. She swallowed and turned towards him. "I believe the guards must have left by now." She stood and headed for the door. "I thank you, again." In an instant, Crispin was on his feet, his body between her and the door. Her surprised expression reminded him of cornered prey. He took a step closer to her. She swallowed and licked her lips. "I need to leave. Stand aside." Ruby shook her head and stalked forward, pushing against him, hoping he would move. Crispin grabbed her by the waist and backed her up, tumbling them both onto the bed. He took her wrists and held her hands above her head, securing her under his weight. "Why must you be so stubborn?" he asked, his voice husky. "Why must you restrain me?" She arched a brow. "Get off." "So you can draw your weapon against me again?" "I think not." Crispin groaned as she struggled beneath him. "The next time you threaten me with a blade, you'd better be prepared to use it."